Hey guys, it's Cece and welcome to a vlog. Such intro, I've really got this figured out. So basically I had this idea and I decided I wanted to vlog this idea. 2018 was an adventure in learning that reading is hard, and when you don't set aside certain times to read, reading doesn't get done. So a lot of reading fell to the wayside in 2018 because I fell out of the habit, and reading is a habit, and that is something that I don't think I used to acknowledge because I've always taken for granted that I read a lot. I have read a lot since I was a little kid, and 2018 was weird because it was the first time that I was like, I'm not reading anything. And it wasn't even like I was being distracted by reading things that weren't counting towards my Goodreads goal, because like I went through a period where I wasn't reading books, I was just reading fan fiction, but I was still reading a ton every day. That is not what happened in 2018. A lot of that is due to the emotional state of my day-to-day life throughout 2018. That was a big factor, but also my emotional state allowed me to fall out of the habit, which means that I didn't read. For the past couple of years, I've read at least 100 books a year, and I think in 2018, my final number was 49 books, which is great. Like, that's an amazing number. But reflecting on that number, reflecting back on my reading for other years compared to 2018, it was just kind of obvious that things had changed. So I am doing a thing. Honestly, I think Monica did this last year. It sounds possible, but the point is that I'm going to read at least a couple of pages every single day in January, and I'm going to vlog a little bit every single day in January, so I hope you are ready for a long one. I'm sure this is going to show up as such a long video. By the way, it's January 1st and our Christmas tree's still back there. Check it out. All the Christmas ornaments, everything Christmas is up. Yeah, the point is I'm going to read a little bit every day, and January is going to be an exercise in trying to get myself back in the habit of reading as often as I used to. So, I have already read a bit today. Starting off the year strong, January 1st. It's been a good thing. I've been reading In an Absent Dream by Seanan McGuire because I want to finish it so that I can actually get started on my January TBR, which is excessive. It's an excessive TBR, considering what my reading speed has been like. But I started this in 2018, and I want to finish it in 2019, especially since it comes out in a couple of days. So it's not that late, but I was up until 5 a.m. because New Year's. So I'm really tired, and I might go to sleep soon. I'd love to try to finish this before I do that, though. And then I can start in on other stuff. One of my other goals for 2019 was to get back into learning French, or like remembering French. So I want to do Duolingo every single day, so you might get updates on that as well, because it is going to be the year of me remembering the French that I used to know very well. But I've done a bit of reading for today. I'm going to take a break so I can do my Duolingo, then I'm going to go get in bed, try to finish this, and I hope you enjoy this vlog of me trying to get back into the habit of reading and what my experiences are with that. Yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you like it. Hello, it is technically the 3rd, but it's when I am and I've been reading, so I think that you guys can forgive me for not updating you specifically on the 2nd. In my last update, I said I was going to read more of In an Absent Dream that night, and remarkably, I did. I read a lot more of In an Absent Dream that night, but didn't quite finish it, so I actually finished it today, so that is January 2nd, one book down, and I'm really excited because I rated that book really highly. I think I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars, like I've given every other book in the Wayward Children series, so it was like a really good way to start the year. I've started my next book now, which is The Good Girl by Mary Kubica. I've heard really mixed things about this, but this was part of my TBR pick that I did with my roommate Brian, so I'm reading this. It's also been a really long time since I've read a thriller, and it's weird because it's honestly motivating me to get through this book really fast. I started reading it, I was going to read like a chapter, and I'm Leia, get off the book. I'm 75 pages in, and I'm going to read a little bit more before I go to bed, so this has been a good start. Like, today I finished a book and immediately wanted to start reading more, and then didn't want to put the book down. And that's really cool. I'm very into that. So I'm going to read a little bit more of this book. I don't know how much I'm loving it, but I'm definitely finding it engaging. And then I'm going to go to sleep. And hopefully I'll read a lot more of it tomorrow, and we're going to keep this train rolling. Hey, I didn't update you yesterday. I just showed you that I was making biscuits. So I am clearly a together person. I read a tiny bit of this book last night. Just like barely any collectively. So I've been editing all day. I've been vlogging other stuff, been working on Patreon stuff. Today's been busy, but now I'm going to sit here and I'm going to try to read a bunch more of this because I don't want to let myself get behind by only reading little bits every day. I want to try to get reinvested in reading more every day. So, I'm going to try to read a bunch of this right now. So it's January 6th. I just finished The Good Girl. I read a ton of this over the course of the 5th. I read the last of it during the 6th because it's like 2 a.m. right now. Here's the thing with thrillers. The problem is, so many of them have let me down that it's gotta be 80 to 90% of the thrillers I've ever read let me down in the last third. And the particular thing about this is that like 60 pages in, I was like, ugh, you know what would be the worst way for this to end? And then I described the actual way that this book ended. So it was an enjoyable ride. I read it in like 3 days. And that is beneficial to me because it means that I'm reading faster, it means that I'm getting invested in books and staying invested in books. But like, thrillers, why you gotta do that? Why? I have no idea what I'm gonna read next. I'm gonna have to look at my pile and really think about it. I could either do a YA contemporary that's gonna go really fast, or I could do my like mass market paperback steampunk fantasy, because I think that'll go pretty fast. But I haven't decided which one to do yet. But yeah, that is your update for the 5th and the 6th. I read a ton, and mostly it was all great, but then it just let me down overall. Okay, so I think because I read so much yesterday, the motivation to read is way down, but I did pick a new book. I picked Our Own Private Universe by Robin Talley, and this is what I'm reading now. I have not even finished a chapter today. I'm like 26 pages in, and I don't know how much more I'm really gonna read today before the day ends, because Brian's currently out walking Cora, the dog, and when he gets back, I think I kind of want to just play Mario Kart and watch YouTube. So I don't know how much more reading is going to get done today. Probably not that much, but I read so much yesterday, and I finished The Good Girl technically today since it was like 2 a.m. So I think that's okay. I think that's an okay amount to have read. And I'm still going strong. For those who wanted me to keep track of this too, on my Duolingo, I think I've done like a 17-day streak right now, and I'm gonna keep it going. And I don't think I can speak French any better than I could in November, but I am certainly remembering some words that I had forgotten, and that's exciting for me. So here's your update on 2 things that are going on in January. Maybe I will read more tomorrow. I just don't know. But right now, I'm just not really feeling it. Alright, all animals, don't knock over the camera. It's sitting on the table.
Oh. Watch out for bananas!
I'm trying. Est-ce que tu parles français?
Honey?
Is someone going out?
Really? Oh, really?
Is someone gonna go out? Hey, Cora. Are you gonna go outside? Are you gonna go outside?
Yes, I am. How did you know?
Don't freeze.
I will try not to.
So I'm starting to have a harder time reading this month, and I'm trying not to let that affect me, but I feel myself getting worried. I know that going back to reading every day was part of establishing a new routine, and the whole point is just to get back in the habit. But I'm worried right now, or it feels right now, like I have wound up doing the same thing that I end up doing during every readathon, which is that I have a really good first couple of days, and then all that progress kind of fades and I stop motivating myself, and it all just kind of slowly fades away as far as motivation to finish things. I don't want 2019 to feel like that. And I know I'm being way too hard on myself. It's like the 8th of January, but like I had a sizable TBR in January and I felt really good about it, and now I'm worried because I know that I'll be frustrated with myself if I get to the end of the month and I haven't completed everything that I wanted to read. And that's way too much pressure to put on myself, but that's what I'm feeling right now. I am just having a really hard time picking this up and reading it. I don't know if it's YA, I don't know if it's how it's written, but I felt like I got through the first 2 books of this year really quickly, and I never want to pick this up. And it's not like I'm like, ugh, I hate it. I'm enjoying it. I just don't feel motivated to pick it up the way that I wanted to pick up In an Absent Dream and the way I wanted to pick up The Good Girl. So it's actually not the 8th anymore. It's the 9th because it's 2 a.m. I want to try to read a little bit more of this tonight. But if I'm still having a hard time with it, if I still am feeling tomorrow like I don't want to pick this up and read it, I might pick something else up from my TBR stack for the month and try that instead. Because I do not want to get bogged down in one book that for some reason I'm not motivated to read and have that really take down the success of the rest of the month. You know, like I said, this vlog is all about reading every day, but I don't want that to become an issue. I want to read every day. And I don't want to fall back on just reading a couple of pages. I want those days to be few and far between and have the majority of my days be wanting to read a lot every day. So yeah. Tonight was not a night of reading though. Tonight was a night of getting other stuff done, rearranging shelves, taking down the Christmas tree, putting up pops, putting up all of the pops and arranging them in the like living room area. And that's gonna be tomorrow too. But like during the day, if I am still feeling like I don't want to pick up Our Own Private Universe, I'm going to try something else for my TBR stack. Maybe a different genre, maybe just a different YA, just to see if that helps at all. I'm going to try to read a little bit before I go to sleep, but yeah, there's your update for the day. Also, it's very hard to film this update because this one is all up in my grill. This one just wants nothing but attention. Look at her. She stands on top of my books if I don't pay attention to her. That is literally what she does every night. Is she gets up, she stands on my books, or knocks them out of my hands so that I'll pay attention to her and not the book. She is such a little brat. You're a little brat. Are you a little brat? Standing on my book? Oh my god. I think my last update was literally me having like a mini moment where I was like, I'm never gonna be productive again. I'm apparently only able to read 2 pages a day and that's always how I'll be. The roller coaster that I live in every day being me. So I filmed that update and then I read like 50 pages of Our Own Private Universe, and then the next day I read like the last 150 pages of Our Own Private Universe. I literally finished it the next day. I don't know why I'm like this, guys. I always get stuck in the first half of a book. I spend like a million years reading the first half of a book, and then once I get halfway through, I finish the last half in a day. That's how I always read books. That's how I've been reading books for years, and yet every time I'm having a hard time with the first half, and I'm like, you guys, I'm never gonna finish another book again, so there's no point. That's it. I'm the most dramatic version of myself at all times. So I finished Our Own Private Universe. It was fine. I think that it had a lot of really good beneficial points, but a lot of points were taken off for how a bunch of different things were written. That's vague. So I felt uncomfortable, as I knew I would, with the fact that this was a white author writing a black main character, and I kept waiting for them to address it, and it just never got addressed. And like very specific conversations came up where, like, as a black main character, she would have had opinions, she would have had points to say, and she just doesn't. It just, and I read reviews from black reviewers on this because I didn't want to feel like I was determining how that character would feel in that situation as a white reviewer. So I like looked into it to make sure I wasn't imagining it. No. It's really weird, the things that she never points out, and it's because it's from the point of view of a white author. I also think that they never address the white savior complex that is inherently a part of the narrative, and I think that they never really got into the complex aspects of religion and how that might make sexuality more complex. So like, it had good parts. Like addressing safe sex between girls. That was really good. First Love. A lot of people have said this book is too dramatic. I disagree because it's about a 15-year-old, so there were a lot of points where I was like, oh my god, if you would just tell the truth, that would literally be it. But they're 15. And so I think it captures that experience and that age very well. I just think that there were a lot of things that it also did really poorly. So I settled on like a 3-star. We'll see if that's where I sit. But then I started a new book. I started reading Renegades by Marissa Meyer. I was going to start reading a different book, but then it turns out I have to buy the first book first, so I didn't read that. I'm reading Renegades. I'm like 50 pages in, and give me 2 days, and I'm sure I'll be filming an update like, guys, it turns out it's all over and I'm never going to read again. But for now, I'm going to try to read this a bit more before bed. Oh my god, I don't know why I'm like this. Wish me luck on reading this. This is going to be such a weird vlog. I think it's beautiful.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, I finally had my day where I forgot to read. It happened. Yesterday, my sister was visiting and I completely forgot to read. Like, it hit 1 a.m. and I was like, I didn't read. So, it happened, but I've recovered. It's okay. I don't know if you can hear Fallout music playing in the background. That's what's on the TV because Brian is playing Fallout and I'm currently on the new Switch. Brian just bought a Switch and I've been playing Mario Kart, unlocking all of the things. But I am on page like 160 of Renegades and I'm really, really liking it. So that's good. Like, it's going quickly. It's just a very bulky book and I know it's going to slow me down overall. But like, I had my day where I forgot and I'm okay with that. Tomorrow is gonna be like a work day because this weekend has not been very... I haven't gotten a lot done, and I really, really need to get a lot more done. So today, like, yesterday my sister came over, we watched movies, we played DC Deck Building, which is our fave. Brian and I are certifiably obsessed. We make everyone play it. Today, Zoe was still over, we did more stuff, and then we went over to a friend's house, and we played DC Deck Building there, a more intense version. I'd like to say that both times I've played this weekend, I have won by a significant amount. And that makes me feel pretty good because I've actually been like, I've been super down emotionally. So like, I'm glad that I've been doing stuff that makes me happy and Brian's been pushing me to do stuff that makes me happy because I've been having like a rough weekend emotionally. But I don't think I'm gonna read any more tonight. It's like 11:15 p.m. I might play more on the Switch, maybe we'll watch stuff, but you know what? Saturday and Sunday don't need to be super... Why can't I think of the word for getting things done? Productive. Saturday and Sunday don't need to be super productive, but this week does. And I actually on Friday spent a ton of time looking up the information I need to finally find a new therapist. And I'm really excited because on Tuesday I get to go and see their entry specialist who's going to help me figure out who in their office is going to be the best person to talk to. But they are the most inclusive place that I've ever found as far as queer stuff, and that is exactly what I wanted when I was looking for a therapist. So I'm really excited about that. That's totally unrelated. I'm keeping it going strong with the Duolingo though. Like I've decided this vlog is about more than just reading. Now you want to know about Duolingo, and Duolingo still staying up to date. Last night in the middle of The Princess Bride, I was like, pause, you guys are gonna do my Duolingo with me, so going strong on that. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. I'm gonna play some more Mario Kart, honestly, now. We've been playing Mario Kart on the Wii, now I'm playing it on the Switch. I can't get enough, apparently. So some good news, bad news. I haven't updated in like days because I've been very, very bad about updating. I don't know if it's just like I'm starting to feel like I'm repeating myself, or I have had a very bad couple of days and so I haven't wanted to talk to a camera. I don't know what the answer is there, but bad news is it's been a bit since I've updated. Good news is that I'm like halfway through Renegades. Kind of wish I was more than halfway through Renegades, but the thing is, here's how I operate as a human being. Like I've said, I take forever to read the first half of a book and read the last half in a day. So if that actually happens, despite the fact that this is a 550-page book, means I will finish this book like tomorrow. And that would be amazing, because then I would just have to read like one book every 2.5 days in order to finish my entire TBR, which is totally possible. Other piece of good news though is that there was a book on my TBR, Silver Mirrors, that I bought as part of my TBR challenge, and then it turns out that was the second book in a series. So I ordered the first book in a series, much to Brian's frustration. He feels I should have to just read the second book and try to fill in missing information, but that made me fidgety under my skin. So I purchased the first book in the series, and that has only added an additional book onto the TBR that I have to finish in January. Which is why I really want to finish this, because then there are a bunch of books I can hopefully get through very quickly. The only other problem book for me at this point on the pile is Truly Madly Guilty. And I know this vlog isn't about reading like as much as I possibly can all the time. It's just about getting back into the habit of reading, but it's halfway through the month and so I'm starting to feel the pressure. But yeah, there's your update. I actually updated you. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. I literally left this camera here after I finished filming today, so I figured I would do my little vlog update from like an official position. Doesn't this look nice? Doesn't it look nicer than how I normally vlog? Fun update. I finished Renegades. Yay! I really, really liked it. This is like the first resounding success of the TBR challenge. I cannot wait to read another book in this series. It was excellent. I don't know why I wasn't sure about reading this. I love superheroes in all shapes and sizes. I'm really glad I read this. So that is 4 books down for January. I read a bunch of this yesterday, like 100 or so pages, and then I just read 100 pages today to finish it up, which is great. And now I get to start this book, Bronze Gods, which I put the wrong bookmark in. Look at how long this bookmark is. It can stick out both sides and still be fine. I have a regular normal sized bookmark that is supposed to be in here, but I don't know where it went. This was not one of the books I picked up for my TBR challenge. It's the first one in a series, so I can read the one I picked up for the TBR challenge, but I'm only 2 pages in. It's a little confusing. The intro was a whole lot of fantasy info, so I'm just gonna jump in and hope that I figure it out, and that's gonna be fine. And I filmed today, which is good. And I'm keeping up with my Duolingo, which is also good. But I do have to read a lot of books very quickly. Oh shit. I told the people in my Discord that I was gonna start running with lions next. But I just started this. Oops. Why am I such a mess? I literally said that like 3 hours ago. You guys, me and this book, we're having disagreements, basically. So like when I started this, I thought it was just that I was having a hard time getting into the world. And I definitely think a part of my issue with this book is the world building and the fact that it kind of flings you into stuff and informs you about a bunch of things you don't know about, and then under-informs you about things that you do need to know about. But the more I read of this, the more I'm so immensely frustrated, like from an editorial perspective. There's so many things, and so it's taking me forever to read it. I have like 100 pages left, roughly. I thought I'd be done with this by now, but I am not. It's just taking me forever to work my way through it. Leia is playing with bags of clothes that I bought today. Stop. I really need to finish this so that I can get to my Patreon book pick, because I was supposed to start on that a few days ago and I didn't think this would slow me down as much as it has. I thought, in fact, I would finish it really, really quickly, and it's kind of frustrating me. It's taking me so long to read it because I just don't care and I just get frustrated when I read it. And this is only the first book, and I own the second one too. Fingers crossed for tomorrow. Fingers crossed that I can finish it tomorrow and I will be done with this book so that I can start running with lions, because I'd really like to. But I don't know how likely that is because my reading app says I have like an hour and a half left, and I don't know if I can dedicate myself to sitting down for a full hour and a half to finish this. I'm just skimming at this point, honestly, too. So, you know, if that's what it takes, I guess that's what it takes. But I'm not even paying that much attention anymore at this point. I went thrift shopping yesterday and I got... Yesterday? 2 days ago. I went thrift shopping 2 days ago and got myself some cool new threads, including this fabulous shirt that I'm very, very into, and a new coat that I'm obsessed with, like, strongly. So, reading update. I finished reading Bronze Gods. I did it. It was bad. It was bad to the very, very end. My editorial brain was taking over. There were too many issues with it. I could not stand reading it, but before I went to sleep last night, I pushed myself through the end of it and gave it a great 1 star. Just a 1-star review. And I own the second one, which I said I would read this month, so that's possibly still going to happen. Who knows, though. But I did start reading my next book, which is Running with Lions by Julian Winters. This was my patron book of the month. This was what my patrons chose for me to read. I am like 80 pages in, and I'm really, really liking it. I'm a huge, huge fan. I think it's delightful and funny and cute, and I think it's gonna have a really nice romance that I'm very excited about. And I read those 70 pages in not that long, which means I think I can get through this book in like 3 days. Like, fingers crossed for 3 days. I did fall behind on my Duolingo. I missed a day accidentally. Just a whole day went by and I didn't do Duolingo, so there goes that streak. But I'm catching back up again and it's gonna be okay, and it's like one day I can live with. I can live with missing a day. But yeah, today was really good. My roommate and I watched Happy Death Day because it was on Amazon, and we didn't think that we wanted to see it. We weren't going to see it, but this trailer for Happy Death Day 2 looks so ridiculous. It looks fully like they're Evil Dead 2ing it, that we decided to watch the first one so we can go see the second one. Honestly, it was kind of fun. It was like, obviously not the best movie, but it wasn't trying to be the best movie. So it was like, it was fun and silly, but I really liked everybody in it, so cool. But yeah, I think I'm going to do a little bit of Duolingo, maybe read a little bit, but Brian's just out walking Cora, so he should be back pretty soon. I doubt I'm gonna read that much. Yeah, there's your update. It's been a really good day. Been a really good day. Hello. So I vlogged on the 24th and then I never vlogged again for the rest of January. So it's a full week of reading that I just didn't vlog. I'm sorry, it just like stopped happening. I don't know why, because my whole thing was vlogging every single day in January, which, I mean, I didn't maintain an every single day vlog style, but skipping a whole week is fairly not great. So let me catch you up on everything. I have maintained my Duolingo streak. I never let it falter again. Building that streak back up, really learning French, really learning my things. And I did not miss a single day of reading besides that one mid-January. I don't remember what the date was, but I read every single other day in January and managed to finish 2 books in the week that I didn't vlog. So I finished Running with Lions by Julian Winters, which remained very cute. I still really loved it for all of its cute aspects. I thought it was written a little younger than I was anticipating, like for this book being about 17-year-old boys, it felt like I was reading about characters that were a lot younger. So I thought it was cute and sweet and nice, and I really liked the romance. It really was sweet, but I ended up giving it about 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was just like, it was nice. And that is the rating that I give to books that are just like, nice. I enjoy them, but that's kind of it. And then we continued on our journey, and I read the entirety of Silver Mirrors, which, like, a round of applause to me for getting through both of these books in January and not as long as it would have taken me at other times of the year. But I had to force myself through this. I was reading a couple of pages a day, and I had gotten about halfway through, and then I had, I have a notification. I got about halfway through, and then I had 2 days of January left, and I wound up having to read like a little under 100 books both days, which was terrible. This book had moments that were moderately better than the first book. Like, the action was better moderated over the amount of time that it was given, but it was still just as poorly written. It was still just as poorly written as the other books, the first book. So I gave it 1 star as well. But there you go. That is the end of this January vlog, even though it's not January anymore, and I totally failed at vlogging for the last week of January. I do think that this goal that I set for myself of getting back in that habit of reading every day, I think that it worked. Like, it's February 5th now, and I haven't had a problem wanting to pick up a book every single day. I have been constantly reading, and it is no longer I have to push myself to pick up a book. I don't feel bad if there is a day where I don't pick up a book, but that urge is back. And for a lot of time in 2018, I didn't have that urge. I didn't want to read every single day anymore, and that was frustrating. So I would say that the goal of this worked, and I'm really glad that I did it. I'm really glad that I was pushing myself to get back into a habit, and hopefully it will carry me through for the rest of 2018. Thank you so much for watching this vlog, which I'm sure was very long. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye!